Hey everybody, I'm here with my longtime friend Chris. We are checking out his garden today, and it is in fact misting right now. So if you're wondering what's going on, we're not sweating. We are enjoying nature. This is Chris was helping me understand like all the basics because I'm a complete novice. I have no idea all the cycles of farming.
Expert, but I've played in the earth a lot of years and grown a lot of things.
This guy's got family legacy when it comes to gardening, growing food, growing beautiful flowers, all it, growing everything basically. And I'm just curious, like me trying to go into farming, I've always been intimidated by how much work it takes, and I also have to travel a lot. And so the first thing I was wondering is like, how much of the work that you got to do is, how much of all this work is something that will be useful next year, next growing season?
A lot of it, it's a good question. It's in the setup. The more you do during the setup to plan for making it easier in the next years, the better. What we're doing, I said, is a multi-year approach because we're going to be expanding it. Don't overdo it in the first year.
Right.
You wear yourself out.
Yeah.
We started with a small spring, summer garden, and now we're setting up the fall garden. Also, you got to make sure everything's kosher with the landlord because, plans change. That's actually going to get turned into field and pasture. Mm-hmm. So that's something else we're going into the avenue of farming is livestock.
Oh, wow.
So just a small, a few head, and then maybe some pigs.
Yeah.
But primarily we get into gardening just because it's something to do. The work is also a pleasure. Yeah. If that makes sense. It's relieving work.
Yeah.
When you're burning your brain all day, you want to come out and burn some of your body. Blow it all out. What we're doing with the logs is a hugelkultur approach. So you're going to eventually turn these back into soil. We're going to be covering them throughout the years. The beds are going to be raised, so they'll eventually turn into parts of the bed. You just keep growing it out.
Okay.
The bugs come along, the insects take care of everything, the mold, the fungus takes care of everything. Mm-hmm. Earthworms. It is basically doing what nature does by itself and bringing it out into the garden. The more you can do to turn your garden back into a natural state, the better.
Yeah.
You have to use less pesticides because you have more of a balance of bugs and birds coming in and taking care of it. You have to use less fertilizer because you have more of the biodiversity of nutrients coming out of all the processes that happen naturally.
Yeah.
And so it's a balance.
I see that. So I know you personally, and I know that you're very focused on doing things as natural as possible. What would it take, like, how critical is it to use pesticides? Like, is there something like you just can't get around for certain crops or certain problems?
Natural pesticides, diatomaceous earth is a common one. Sometimes it's not effective for everything. There's another one, BT is a fungus, I believe, that is used.
There's a type of fungus called BT that can help you.
It doesn't hurt. You can use it and eat it. I believe this is one of those that humans are still fine with consumption.
All right.
Don't quote me on that. Don't go out and try it.
That's where I think a lot of people get started, including myself. I've attempted farming 5 times now and failed, but I was always trying to do sci-fi stuff like growing my own spirulina algae or having a farm bot to manage all the plants for me. Complete failures, but there's people who just thoroughly enjoy the time, who don't need to be on planes all the time.
And if you do it right, you can actually get the garden to take care of itself most of the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the straw that we use is basically to mimic the shade, so you don't have to water as much. If you do a lot of tilling, the soil acts like a sponge. It'll actually suck moisture away from the plant, so you have to make sure you cover it and keep the shade up.
Okay, here's an example. Like, one of the craziest stories I've heard from other farmers is that, I don't know, maybe it's a California only story, but like if you miss one day of watering your tomatoes during peak time, it could kill them.
That's if you don't take care of the soil. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like we can go several days without watering them. They're all right. You can go there and touch the soil and underneath the straw and it's still damp.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Not bad.
what nature already had figured out. Now, if you were to do it on an industrial scale, that would be unrealistic. You know, you can't have that much straw followed behind all your crops. But again, this will turn back into soil and improve the soil year after year.
Yeah.
It's going to add nutrients back in. So instead of coming back with fertilizers, we're doing something that cuts back on the water consumption, and it also cuts back on the production. You got to put out pesticides, or fertilizers,
Yeah.
etc.
Are you doing any plants that are specific for nitrogen fixing, like get nitrogen back into the soil?
Yeah, sunflowers are good for that. Buckwheat was a good cover crop that does that. There's clover, I believe, is another nitrogen fixer. I'm not sure, but no, not at this point. No, we're not doing anything for fixing it back in.
But yeah, you're already doing so much to invest in the soil for next year. I'm here with Holly.
Hi.
Chris and Holley have been dating for, I don't know, forever now.
7 years.
7 years, all right. They're not only partners in life, but they're also partners in the garden and the farm. And what we have behind us here is a huge variety of anything from tomato plants to the plants for flowers. Man.
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
Melons.
Yep.
Okra. Eggplant.
So if I heard right, this particular garden that's behind us is for the fall season?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this one is. That one was still part of the summer garden, but it's going to be going for a while, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, what did you grow up doing farming or gardening?
Kind of. My dad did.
Yeah.
I wasn't as active as he was in it, but
yeah. I was
always had a big garden.
I've always been surprised because I know, like, I grew up here in this town and almost got into gardening zero, even though it's like a default thing to do here. It's like grow your own food. And then I have friends like Chris and you who've been at it for like since they were like 4 years old. So I was wondering if there's like it's just like you just inherited from your parents?
Some of it.
Yeah.
A lot of it. We spent a lot of time last year on YouTube watching videos and kind of educating ourselves and planning out and talking about what we wanted to do.
There you go. Come on back in, Chris. Let's you just stand on that same side as her. Yeah, we'll just have that. There's the happy couple. There you go.
Until we get out in the garden.
Yeah, get all messy in the garden. Man, so how long did you guys plan this out before you even started?
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was just we have plants we need to get in the ground, seeds we need to get in the ground. Let's hurry up and till. And we didn't plant as much as we probably should have.
we came out and surveyed the sunlight a couple times and
said let's go.
Try to figure out a good balance because we, as working with the landlord, we're trying to fit in some livestock back there and some up front in the front pastures so we can.
What kind of livestock?
A couple head of cow, a couple pigs.
Yeah?
I mean, we're going all over the spectrum.
So you guys are doing like the exact right scale of farming for being able to do things mostly organic and have like crops and animals that are cooperative.
Yeah, we're trying to. We don't like to use chemicals and unnatural stuff.
So we came inside and just checking out some of these are from friends. And are those heirloom tomatoes?
They are. They're like a purple Cherokee.
These guys look like they're having a major growth spurt, like super stretch marks and stuff.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. They'll just burst and stretch a little bit too much.
So Marina actually cooperated. And then over here is from your garden. Is that a whole bunch of squash I see over there?
It is pickled squash and zucchini.
Pickled squash,
from
zucchini.
The garden. I added onion and some spices.
Man, so what else do you hope to be canning in like just in a few weeks?
Maybe some tomatoes.
And that'll be getting turned into salsa?
I think we will make a salsa.
All right. Well, if you need any taste tests, just let me.
Oh, you know it.
I'll volunteer.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, guys, I really appreciate you, helping me do all this video. I think I got plenty of footage for what I'm pursuing now.
Good.
And Yeah, I'll give you a rough cut for sure.